Hi, I'm Dan with Infinite Lives, and we're here with Butt Sniffing Pugs, and I'm talking with Gabe. How's it going, Gabe?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
Okay, what is Butt Sniffing Pugs?
Butt Sniffing Pugs is what it is. No. I like to sum it up as to say it's a two-player explorathon. Bare bones.
Okay, what does that mean?
So that means that you go to this place called Central Park, and everything is interactive, and you can do whatever you want and explore it with the different pug powers that you have.
Okay.
And so essentially it's kind of like a little virtual playground. So like let's say you wanted to bark on everything, you could. You want to pee on everything, you can. And so we give players basically a little virtual world that they can explore with a friend and just have fun, you know, and play a video game. And that's just about having fun.
So is there like an end boss? Is there like an end state? Do I make moral choices?
No. I mean, you would make a moral choice of like, if I want to, do I really want to poop on this? Most times the answer is yes.
Do I get upgrades? Do I level up? Is there equipment that I can find?
There are little things. So I like to there's three different kinds of mechanics. There's interactions, which is basically everything in the world is interactive. Every bush, every animal, everything. There are secrets, which are like cooperative toys, like a frisbee. Immediately I want to play frisbee with you, and you can. And then there are puzzles. And so like if you solve a puzzle, you get like an unlock, so maybe that's a new pug power. Maybe that's like a new thing in the environment, like a trampoline or like a butt rub ability.
Okay.
And so we like to provide little things that you can do, but there's nothing required. It's just about having fun. And you know, expanding the experience even more and more.
So it's like a kind of sandbox that you just kind of play with your friend?
Yeah, basically. And this is the prototype right now, and ideally what it is going to be is some kind of like Animal Crossing Minecraft hybrid, where there's like a central hub, and there's like different themed regions in a real-time day-night cycle with different like secrets and puzzles in each one. You're just like a little place that's like, hey, like, I want to play Butt Sniffing Pugs. Let's just poop on everything and see what happens.
Okay, okay.
You getting it?
I'm getting it. So, like, can you play this by yourself? It looks like it's meant to be played with another person.
Right now it's meant to be played with two players because the whole game design and everything revolves around the feeling of joy. Not happiness, because happiness is fleeting, but joy, and specifically cooperative joy. So the idea that like you're exploring this park with a friend, you know, the reason why we have the butt sniffing mechanic is so that we get your abilities, because you only have two abilities. If you want more, you have to butt sniff to get the other ones. So you're always exploring together. And yeah.
So, you know, a lot of games always kind of have like you know, you do this and you can have a positive or negative reaction, right? You know, if you get hit by an enemy, you might die. Yes. If you conquer the enemy, then you keep on going on.
Yep.
What I'm getting is that Butt Sniffing Pugs is a full 100% positive.
Exactly. Yep. Space Beagles, our studio, is about making the world a better place by making games that bring joy. And so specifically, we're doing that through Butts and Pugs and cooperatively. So everything is just, you know, but to answer your previous question, yes, we do want a one-player mode because the kid, if he doesn't have siblings, he should be able to play it. So that's kind of like phase 2, is to do a single player, but right now we need to build the world, which is why we're doing a Kickstarter, so we can build that great place, you know, and we don't, it's like, which $10, hey, have my $10 game, babysit your kids. Let's just go play in Central Park and just, you know, have a blast.
So, where did this idea come from? Where is the origin point of this? Did you have a pug, and you had another pug, and they both like sniffing each other's butts, and you're like, hey, that's a game?
That's a game. No. So I thought of a really bad version. Michelle, my fiance, loves pugs, and so I was making games about pugs. I made this really bad, like, local multiplayer territorial game. There were hats. There were like 50 pugs on the screen. It was really confusing. And she looked at it, she's like, no, you just have to make a game that anybody can play, that you can just poop and have fun. And like, if I'm the game designer that's a gamer, she's a game designer that's not a gamer, and so I'll have all these ideas. She'll like take them all and go, okay, these are good. Throw these all away. And I'm like, no. And she's like, we're gonna keep these ones. But she's always right, because like BSP is meant to be played by everybody from like 5 to 95. You know, I had a 1-year-old play my game and smile. I had kids play my game, come back later, bring their grandparents, and I had a grandpa's like, I just want to crap. Like, how do I crap? And I'm like, oh, you sniff your wife's butt, and then you can crap on things. And he's like, oh, he's like, I get it. And if grandparents can get my game and 1-year-olds can get my game, then like I feel like I'm doing something right, you know, by making people a game that shows them that games are for everybody.
So is this kind of like your first game that's kind of got into this point?
Yes.
Like, just, okay.
Yes, this is the big thing. No, I did a couple of game jams before, but that's just for fun. And I kind of like lurked on the industry for a little bit, and then eventually like Michelle actually bought me a GDC pass when I was not a game designer, and I'm like, I'm not making any games. She's like, no, you need to go. I don't care if you're not. And so I lied and I faked it, and I actually saw this conference called All Control GDC in San Francisco, and it's a conference where you make weird controllers, and it's for this exhibit. And the trick was, if you make that controller and you get in, you get a free pass. And so next year, that's how this got made. I made a with like a butt controller, and they got me. And ever since then, we went E3 and RTX and like BitBash and all these events.
Okay, let's go over this controller a little bit.
It's the only one in the world.
Yeah, are these the only two in the entire world right now?
Much.
Oh, wow. Okay, so what's going on over here? We've got a tennis ball.
So it's essentially a giant trackball. You use a tennis ball to run around, like, kind of like doggy run. You have 2 green buttons up top, and those are your pug power buttons, right? So let's say that one's bite and the right one's poop. And so there's obviously more than 2 powers, and so if you want new powers, you have to tap the button inside the button, choose butt sniff, and then changes your abilities. And that encourages cooperative play all times rather than separately.
All right, so you got a Kickstarter coming up.
Yes, in October.
Okay. So what's the Kickstarter going to do? Like, I mean, fund the next couple phases of the game to get it all filled out?
It's going to fund the whole world because it's like, we're indies, man. It's like, it's like, okay, it's like, I'm not going to give you percents. It's like, I need 10K to barely pay my developer's rent. I need another 10K to pay my animator. I need 5K for Kickstarter fees, and like another 5K for like music and sound. And they're being friends, and they're like, oh, I'll do it for like, like this much. And it's like all of that to fund that game that I said. Like it's like one region, and it's going to take like a month. Like, maybe, and it's like, it's like to ask for like, like a couple like $1,000. It's like it's not that much.
So, I mean, you get it funded and everything. Where do you see this game like being played on? Like, is this a
confirmed? We're going to Steam and PlayStation, and so yes, yeah, there are homies. And then because it's like you don't need the controller. I just want to give a virtual world that anybody can play. And then kind of the phase 2 is like the 1-player mode. And so we eventually want to like have a 1-player mode and for it to put it on iPads. But that's kind of like after we build the whole world and after we figure out everything. And we'd love like to put online and like we can do like whatever. We can put all the content we want. It's just like how much support that we get for it. And like that's why we want to do Kickstarter. Is from the guy who's trying to get engaged and like, or I am engaged. Like she said yes. The guy who's like trying to pay for PAX, trying to pay for a wedding dress, and like all this stuff. Like I was like, why not actually let the community decide how big we want this to be? Like PewDiePie was over here and he was like, yeah, I love it, and like he played it. It's like I could get PewDiePie to fund it, but I would rather have him support it and have the whole people support it to make it as big as it could be.
So how was it like presenting this to Sony? Like, did you pitch this to Sony and they were like, okay, or was somebody was like, I don't get it? Well, what was that like?
It was kind of funny because it was like I have like they're awesome over there. I like showed it to them. And they're like, okay, it's interesting. And then like they helped me, like, but like we love indies, so they helped me. And then actually they like saw it in the wild, and that's like where you have to see BSP. You know what I mean? And they're like, oh, like we get it. And it was awesome because actually they like sped me up to make sure that I could like get confirmed as a developer for PAX. Like Sony is like, I love them. Yeah.
Okay. So would we be able to buy this controller when the game comes out?
It's definitely a possibility. Like the idea that people have asked for it, so it's like, why not give people what they want? And like, kind of, like, why not take the angle for like charity? Like, there's a company called April Gamers, and they're a nonprofit. Yeah, and they hack video game controllers so that people with disabilities can play. So why not? Like, I've talked with maybe we'll partner with them. We'll give some proceeds to charity, and then maybe they can help us make essentially giant trackball, and then maybe kids with disabilities can play my game, and everybody wins.
Okay.
So
I like to ask, people who I talk to with these interview things. Like,
Sure.
So what is your background with games, right? I'm going to guess right off the bat, Katamari, maybe?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I'm a kid at like E3, and like we were bonding because I love Watam. Like right after PewDiePie came over here, he's like, "What game do I play?" I'm like, "Go play Watam right now." Like that is my game of the year.
We were trying to talk to him, but he's been busy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know. So yeah, definitely Katamari, like Animal Crossing. Like I'm the kind of gamer who plays like all of the kind of games, and Michelle is the kind of gamer that doesn't play a lot. And so we kind of like combined to like get that kind of good feel of like accessibility and kind of incorporate that into BSP.
Okay, so I mean, I'm guessing the reaction so far on the con has been pretty positive.
See the line. We have like this Disneyland jazz over here, like freaking fast passing.
Okay, so I'll ask the inverse of that question. Has there been anybody been like, I don't get it, I don't like this, I'm out of here, I hate pugs, I don't like sniffing farts?
I mean, really rarely. I think it's like awesome that like the game is it's total prototype. We haven't touched it since March.
Okay.
Yeah, because we've been going to like everywhere.
It looks pretty good.
That means a lot. I mean, we had like small stuff, like we added UI for like PAX and like, but it's essentially the same thing. but I think it's really rad to see people like get it, if that makes sense. You know, like I think it's weird that we give people a little bit of mechanics and we just make a game for everybody. Like I think a lot of games these days pigeonhole, and it's like, oh, this is a game for gamers because this is an FPS. This is a game for that. And when you make a game that is actually playable by everybody and let them do whatever they want, they just eat it up. You know?
Yeah, and you know, games get so complex now, right? Like, and it's hard to like even explain to somebody how to play a game that you like, because it's...
Our usability test is my developer's grandmother and the kids that me and Michelle babysit. It's like, what should we do with this UI? Oh, okay. What is Theory's grandma and what are my kids to babysit? Let's let them decide. And they come up with the decision, and then everybody gets it.
Yeah, it's like, I like playing MOBAs, but like, I can't tell somebody else...
Grandma play a MOBA?
No way. I don't even know if
I don't know if your grandma can play. That's the MOBA that I want to play.
I don't even know. Yeah. Right? Okay. We got to cut this part out of the interview because that's the next Kickstarter. Grandma MOBA.
Don't tell anybody.
Grandma MOBA.
Somebody take that and make it.
Well, Gabe, it's been a pleasure.
Dude.
This looks awesome.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to try to play this sometime this week.
Yeah.
I mean this weekend.
Totally. Yeah.
Hopefully. Although the line's pretty long. So.
Come in early.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.